Welcome to the Stockbroker course. My name is Arjun and I will be your guide throughout this program. Just a little bit about myself. I come from a background of derivative broking. I have had the privilege of working with one of the largest retail broking floors here in London. So my expertise does lie within providing clients with informed advice and constructing portfolios, predominantly within equities, derivatives, as well as elements of fixed income. Now, currently I lead the Institute of Broking, which is a leading training and recruitment facility for investment professionals. Our mission is to equip candidates with the fundamental skills and tools necessary to really succeed within this role, not only within broking, but within financial sales as a whole. Throughout my career, I have trained over 2,500 individuals, held seminars with some of the leading universities and institutions here in the UK. London School of Economics, to name but one. Now, moving on to the course in general, this is going to be a course designed for anyone that's thinking of entering a career within broking. It is a very difficult industry to enter, so hopefully the program that we put forward to you will give you the tools needed to not only get your foot into the door, but do fairly well within the role as a whole. Okay, the course will cover a range of areas such as understanding the role, the exams and the certificates that are going to be required, understanding financial products and instruments, the importance of data, fundamental and technical analysis. Sales tips will come towards the end. So in a nutshell, we're here to provide you with a solid understanding of the profession and what's going to be expected of you on a day-to-day basis, how to engage with investors, and really, get the most out of the role and for the company that you are going to be working with. The program is, not heavily scripted, so I will go off on tangents now and then. So do bear with me, and I will be, I'm sure, over the course of the coming weeks and months, making sure my presentations are more than just bullet points. But yeah, look, I'll look forward to getting this going and seeing how well you perform. Bye now. Okay, great. Let's kick off with the role of a stockbroker here. Look, a stockbroker, by way of definition, is a regulated professional individual, predominantly associated with a brokerage firm, who buys and sells stocks and other securities for retail investors, mainly through the stock exchange, or can be done over the counter in return for a fee or commission. So, in a nutshell, just to paint it as simple as we possibly can, your job is to be on the phone, speaking with active investors, bringing on board portfolios and assets, especially as a junior broker, an entry-level role. Your aim is to generate enough interest for an investor to want to open an account with the company and have one of the seniors provide advice on a range of products. It could be fixed income, it could be equities, it could be placings, it could be a variety of instruments. Now, we mentioned a regulated professional individual. When I talk about a regulated professional individual, that is someone who has got the required examinations and qualified to appear on the FCA register. Okay, it means you're a competent, qualified individual that can provide advice to retail investors. Okay, and naturally, with the firms that you may end up with or at, if you go through their KPI requirements as well as being qualified, they have the ability to put you very much on the register for you to start advising and really progressing your career. So, when we go through the main roles, it is speaking to potential clients. These will be individuals that have registered interest, maybe within your company or maybe within a report that had been published. So it's not a case of calling or cold calling and calling out of a phone book. It's never going to be that case. It could be dormant clients you would speak to, or majority of the time it will be individuals that will be not known to the company as a whole. You will be educating investors on the financial markets as well as what the company does. So you've got to be in a position where you have a good understanding of the current market climate, where the market could potentially go, the pros and the cons attached to the current market and how clients could benefit or potential clients could benefit from that. Okay, keeping clients up to date is a very important factor in your role, as when you are on the phone, it could be a 1 call, 2 call, 3 call process. But at that point, investors still may not be comfortable wanting to open an account or still making decisions. So you want to be keeping them up to date with what's happening in the market and just exhibiting your knowledge and understanding and how much of an asset you could potentially be to them. Okay, and when it comes to the requirements to be a stockbroker, first and foremost, age is not a factor. University degrees, well, to a certain degree, are not a factor, depending on what sort of companies you tend to go for. But realistically speaking, within tier 1 banking, even to tier 2 banking, asset management firms, having a solid degree within finance would be essential. But the role in itself does require individuals to be self-motivated. Now, I've put this point because it's easier said than done. Everyone will always hold their hands up and say they're motivated, they're driven, this, that, and the other, which is absolutely fine. But within financial sales, and in sales in general, let's be honest, it is a very difficult industry. You are going to be speaking with individuals which are not necessarily interested straight away. So you will be approached with answers such as they're not interested, they don't have any money, or they don't want to do anything. So you will get a lot of knockbacks. But if you are afraid of the word no, then unfortunately this industry will be very tricky for you. Okay, the way I tend to look at it is this industry is a numbers game, sales is a numbers game, but having the best knowledge and understanding of what you're doing and using that in every phone call, the numbers game will work very heavily in your favor. Okay, so yeah, everyone tends to be self-motivated, but you've got to be in a position where no is just no. The next call could be the one where you are speaking to an investor which is a serious investor and wants to get on board. So, always try picking yourself up. Drive and ambition is something which is a testament to a lot of the brokers that you will see. Okay, some of the movies, depict brokers as very confident, very money hungry, very driven, and in part and parcel, a lot of that is very much the case. You've got to have that drive and ambition. It's not a safe job, and what I mean by safe, it's got to be people enter this industry knowing that there's a large amount of capital that can be made, and the progression is very much there. So you've got to have the ambition to want to learn and keep learning and accelerating going forward. Strong work ethic is important. It's a very lucrative industry, but there is also that element of a lifestyle. So you want to be really focused within the first year, once you get fully qualified, to be doing what your KPIs set out and achieving all your targets. Other than that, this industry is a revolving door, unfortunately. If candidates do not cut it, there are some firms out there which will move on and hunt for the next broker out there. So please have that work ethic about you. Money motivated, I think many people would be money motivated. It is an industry that can reward you very heavily, especially through, when I was coming through the industry, there was a lot of individuals which done very well at a very young age. Good telephone, ambition to learn. Now, this industry, sales in general, is not about the gift of the gab. It's not about the script that you have in front of you. It's about the knowledge. The more information and the more understanding you have, the better you are going to be at sales. There's no two ways about it. The more you know, the more of an asset you are going to be. So education is key, and hopefully you're going to pick up a fair amount throughout the program today. When I say today, I'm probably recording over a couple of days, but whatever you're going to learn, I hope you can take it onto the day, next day, day after, so on and so forth. So it's not a case of, reading one article and you think, it's important. Even I am still learning on a day-to-day basis about the financial markets and, where the markets could potentially go. A good telephone manner is essential to leave out slang or, you've got to be articulate, clear, concise, straight to the point, and that is what's going to separate you. So please take on board all these tips, understand the role, and this is what we're going to be exploring in further detail as we go on. A common question we get asked from individuals that sit our stockbroker courses, where do we get our leads from to call clients? And what that truly means is a lead is a name and a number, and at times an email address, which is provided to you by the firm in order for you to call and pitch the company services to. Those leads are acquired by many ways, predominantly via marketing sources. A company can publish, for example, an article or a recommendation on a stock, for example, and at the bottom of that they will have a contact form. If an investor is interested in hearing further, they normally tend to register their details, and in turn that will get passed on to the company that you're working for. So it would not be a case, as I mentioned previously, where you are calling up a phone book or clients which are not interested. Cold calling has been outlawed for a long while. Naturally, that's why investment firms spend a huge sum of capital getting the best form of leads in order for you to stand the best possible chance of actually selling the company's services and products. Now, the progression opportunities, just like with a lot of things, it is very much individual and it is very much down to yourself. A lot of firms will put KPIs in place. They will have daily targets, weekly, monthly. So that will range from how many calls that you make, how many how many meetings have you scheduled, what sort of accounts you've opened. That will come down to your KPI, and then the latter part of that will be getting your qualifications. Once you're qualified and you've met your KPI, a lot of firms will be in a position where they are happy to very much get you on the register and have you a qualified advisor for you to build your own client base. And once you've built your own client base, that's when you can actively trade and provide advice for your clients. Another common question is, will I be trading or advising clients? Well, the initial stage, you won't be. Everyone wants to be a trader. Everyone wants to have assets under management, which is absolutely fine. But unless you're qualified, there will be no trading or advising going on. The pure fact of the matter is, if you work for a regulated firm and someone that's unqualified recommends or advises a client to do something, and the client acts upon that advice, the company could be liable. Hence the reason why you've got to be ultra compliant on the phone without obviously misdirecting anybody. What is expected of you on the broking floor? Well, it's all very individual, as I've mentioned, but the general theme is you've got to have a lot of drive and ambition. When you are on the broking floor, you've got to be having that willingness to get on the phone, bring clients on board, bring assets under management. So the work ethic is going to be something that counts for a lot. But in our experience, there are a lot of firms which, are more than happy to give individuals time as long as they're showing the ambition to learn and the willingness to want to do the role. So it's not as cutthroat as maybe it once was. So there is that time to get your feet under the table. But yeah, the raw fact is the numbers will count, whether that be the calls that you make, the accounts you brought on board, or the set target of asset under management that you are expected to bring in. So yeah, those are the common key questions, and we will be addressing further questions as the program goes on. Now, the exams are something that some people are not fully aware of or don't know where to get the information from. But what I've done here is I've put together a map of your route forward. Okay, and this is not just for broking. This is for a lot of, whether it be tier 1, tier 2 asset management firms, investment banking firms. They do look upon these qualifications, are very beneficial. So whether it's broking you're looking to go into or any other form of sales or account management, this is something definitely worth making note of. The best route is naturally going to be the investment advice diploma level 4. It tends to be the easiest route. So it's all held by the CISI, which is the Chartered Institute of Securities and Investment. Once you get the level 4 qualification, which we'll go into, you do have the option of jumping to a level 6, which is a private client investment advice and management certificate, as well as a level 7, which is a wealth management qualification. But going first into the level 4, the investment advice diploma, you are required to take the UK regulation and professional integrity exam, followed by the investment risk and taxation exam. Then you will have an option of either taking derivatives, securities, private client advice, or financial planning. With a lot of broking firms, equity brokers, they do favor individuals which have the securities exam. If like ourselves, and you were looking at CFDs, options and so forth, you would then need a derivatives examination. But it will be varied depending on the firm that you may choose to go to. Our advice is always to, obviously get the 2 fundamental exams and taking securities and derivatives. But if you are planning a route into a wealth management firm and you're focusing on more tax planning and so forth, you might want to take financial planning and advice or private client advice. But the fact of the matter is you will only need to take UK regulation exam, investment risk and taxation, and hypothetically securities. Once you've got all those 3, you will be level 4 qualified. And that being said, you can then automatically sit the private client exam. One thing to be fully aware of, the level 4 exam, they are all multiple choice questions. Okay, you will get 4 possible answers, and there's roughly about 80 questions per exam. Again, very difficult. You will need to get over 75% to pass the exam. So we do suggest candidates take these exams incredibly serious, and we will naturally be putting some seminars up as well to help you with these examinations. With regards to the private client exam, the level 6, that will be a written examination. Again, incredibly tricky examinations, but depending on your level of understanding and able to digest information, a lot of this can be fairly easy, but recommended usually within a year you should acquire a level 4. Whilst working and studying, it can consume a lot of time. But what I've done is I've provided the links at the bottom of the page here. But again, if you just go into Google and you type in CISI level 4 or CISI level 6, it will take you to where you need to be, as well as able to book your exam, and you can order your study material from there. You do have the option of Fitch Learning, BPP, as well as alternate routes to acquire information in order to get these examinations. But as mentioned in the previous slide, once you do acquire the qualification, you do have the option of being on a register and really progressing your career that bit further. Look, when starting out a career within stockbroking, it is essential to stay very much informed of financial news, any updates for a number of key reasons. Market knowledge is being one. You need to have a deep understanding of market conditions, trends, as well as movements. And the financial news will provide you insights into, economic indicators, market sentiment, performance of a sector overall. It's all designed to make clients make an informed decision, as well as for a broker to make informed decisions and provide advice. So you got to look at from a client standpoint. They rely on brokers quite heavily for their advice. So brokers need to be in a position where they are digesting all the information and the news, which will make them have, very relevant advice, timely advice, and really take advantage of the current market conditions. News Now is one of the best websites for articles as well as updates on what's happening within the news. They do pull together a range of publications and outlets and gives it minute by minute, so you are not you're pretty much staying informed with what information is coming out on a regular basis. HL is Hargreaves Lansdown. They are a main market listed financial services company, but they do provide very good research, especially when it comes to fundamental data. So if you're looking at P ratios, earnings per share, understanding market cap, as well as understanding dividends and elements of the balance sheet, they are very good at that. Forex Factory is a website we use quite regularly, predominantly for the economic side of it. The economic calendar is important, as it will give us information on interest rates, inflation, unemployment rates, GDP, as well as many other indicators. This will help stockbrokers in particular anticipate market movements and adjust strategies accordingly, especially if you're taking very much of a short-term focus. Yahoo Finance naturally is going to be a key website. It's a great go-to if you just want to have it in front of you, just to give you a roundup. There will be a time lag, so it won't be live information. But if you're looking for just some quick prices, type it in. Very easy to use, very user-friendly. Just ETF, especially if you are dealing with clients which have investment portfolios which are heavily diversified into exchange-traded funds. This website will provide you with good performance indicators of what ETFs are performing well, which are not. So please stay very much informed of all these websites. They should be in front of you on a day-to-day basis, especially if you're doing the job as a broker or if you're doing it personally. It's still important to have in front of you every day.